Hello, hello. This is Sunrise Extra, the live unscripted after show to Sunrise. If you're new to this game and you're just seeing us on Facebook and YouTube, this is where we love to chat with you guys, the viewer. So we're watching your comments live as they come in on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. If it's easier for you to text us, 503-226-5111. We are watching all of that. So today we are talking about how folks celebrated the holy weekend of Easter and Passover, what have you, as all of us are doing things a little differently. And thankfully, we had sunshine this weekend in most areas of our viewing area. So we were asking, how did you celebrate?
All areas.
Yes. Yeah. And we have gotten some comments from people. We want to, let's just throw those up there for now and check them out because I was just looking through some of them. They're great. Katie says, they had a mystery bunny leave eggs and gifts in our front yard. It was a literal surprise to everyone and made my daughter's day. We had them make a sign thanking whoever the Easter bunny was, so that's awesome. Haley says Mason tried Peeps for the first time on Easter. I bet he liked him no matter, you know, what he's going to think when he gets older. Stephanie says, my at-risk mom has been stuck in her house, so we made her an Easter basket and dropped it off and ran away. That's so cool. This is video of them surprising her. Kim says we did a virtual Easter egg hunt with Grandma and Grandpa over FaceTime as the little girl there has her basket and talking to the grandparents. That's so cute. And Chris says they had Easter dinner with out-of-state family via FaceTime, sitting there at the dining room table. Yeah, it's a totally different vibe without having extended family to get together with and cooking a huge dinner and or brunch or whatever. So what about you guys?
We did brunch at our house. We made like hash browns, and I baked up some blueberry muffins, and we had a big old scrambled egg kind of thing. And you know, it was just three of us there, so we were kind of low key, as is everything these days. But yeah, it was fun. What about you, Nina?
We did, we dyed eggs for the first time. My daughter's 2.5, so this is kind of the first, you know, year of Easter. And my dumb brain just picked up eggs thinking, oh, we're buying eggs. And I didn't buy white eggs. I bought brown eggs, which turns out they are more difficult to color, doy. But she didn't care. They, you know, have a brown undertone to them. But she was dumping on a packet of glitter and having the best time, getting her fingers dirty in the egg dyeing. So we did that. And we did her first kind of Easter egg hunt out in the yard and just filled it with jelly beans and candy and cut out some stickers. And this is us making the cute eggs and our little jammies and stuff. So we had a great time. I don't think she gets any of it really, but she had fun finding little treats in those plastic eggs.
Drew, what about you?
Oh, nice.
You know, yesterday felt very much just like a regular Sunday to me, but I guess you had to make an effort in order for it to feel different. It sounds like you guys went out of your way to make an effort to make it feel like Easter. And I will say, my wife, she made the effort. Of course she did, right? Yesterday morning, she got out of bed before I did, and our boys are 12 now. Right? I asked him point blank. I think I can say this on the stream, right? Can I say this on the stream? I asked him point blank, you guys still believe in the Easter Bunny? Anyways, we won't get all the way down that road, but you can imagine at 12 where they stand on that. But yet,
like,
my wife went in the backyard and hid about 15 eggs. And the thing about that was on Saturday night, she brings it up. She's like, do you know where the plastic eggs are? I'm like, no, and I don't think we need them this year. And she goes, go down, check in the crawl space, see if we have them in the... I couldn't find them, so I figured we're not doing it. But my mom actually sent like a dozen plastic eggs, and my mom filled the eggs herself, like with some candy and some money. And she sent this from Philadelphia like a week and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
And so we did have that, and my wife took those eggs and planted them around the backyard, and the boys were out there yesterday morning in their robes, searching for Easter eggs.
Loving those robes.
Rod, what about Natasha?
They do love those robes.
Well, you know, if your mom brings me some Easter eggs with money in them, I'll be out in my robe, Drew, looking around too, right? That's easy.
That's funny.
You know, we didn't do a whole lot. We got up, we had pancakes, we just made a really nice breakfast. Natasha's pretty much the same age as Drew's boys. And then in the afternoon, my wife's parents live with us, so my father-in-law, we grabbed the chainsaw. Ho, 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 ho. That was my Tim the Two-Man Taylor vibe. And we cut down some wood in the back. There's some woods out where we live, but we did some... No, yeah, I know it's the same. He goes, oh! How does he do that, Drew? Give me a Tim the Two-Man Taylor. Drew, do it. Come on.
Tim the Two-Man Taylor go, something like that,
that's
right?
it. Yes, that's it. Yes. So that was me with the chainsaw yesterday in the yard. Thank you, Drew.
Hey, listen to this, you guys.
Oh, boy,
this is
back to
awesome
you.
on our stream.
Chainsaw yard.
This is Amy Walker. Good morning. She says, we had a drive-by birthday parade for my daughter Emma for her 9th birthday. She said she felt like a mermaid princess. Her principal came, friends and family. She said it was the best birthday ever. So thankful for all of them making her day that she will
principal
never
came.
forget.
That's
It was so nice to
amazing.
see her smile again during these times. Don't you love that? That's
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
Her principal, yeah, but a lot of different changes this weekend because it is our first holiday, right? And we have some clips from various churches and pastors and groups who did virtual messages for their church congregations, and lots of people, you know, tuning into that first thing in the morning before kind of the brunch and the Easter egg hunts. So people getting creative. My father-in-law is a Christian pastor down in Southern Oregon, and he's been the past, you know, month or so doing these virtual services. And they have live music. They bring in the choir, and they're all kind of, you know, distant from each other. But it's been funny to kind of see, you know, a 71-year-old pastor who's done nothing but, you know, preach in front of real people, kind of figuring out this whole video thing with help from, you know, the youth pastor and everyone else at his church. But and he was calling me for tips. Should I be closer to the camera? How's the lighting? And, you know, he was pretending to be looking out into the crowd at different faces. And I said, Bruce, everyone knows there's no one there that you're looking at. You should even just do it at your desk and have the kid, you know, it's much more personal. So it was funny. We were giving video tips to the old man.
You literally have a whole new career option.
Yeah.
If this keeps up much longer, you would be a fantastic consultant. You know, we did some other stuff that really had nothing to do with Easter, but Rod, it was so beautiful outside. We all were sitting in different parts of the yard. Some people were out back, some people were out front. And I think I got a little color. I mean, it was not super hot, but it was warm enough when you were just sitting out there. And my boyfriend's hilarious because he's always on the go. So he always likes to keep busy. And we've got hummingbirds in the yard. So he goes, I'm going to make a hummingbird feeder. Except he put together this janky thing with like a pop bottle and an old like Tupperware. And I said, are you going to hang that out back? And he looked at me and, you know, with that kind of sheepish look. And so he scurried around and he started doing a bunch of stuff. He goes, do you have a hammer? Do you have a glue? Do you have... I'm like, what are you doing? And he emptied like what was left of a wine bottle, turned it upside down, made this thing, got pop bottles and like cut them out with an X-Acto knife and made all these petaled flowers. And he is making a hummingbird feeder.
Wow.
I'm not sure what it's going to look like when all is said and done, but he was getting his crafty on yesterday.
We need pictures when that is all done. Good job, Jeff.
Yeah.
Brenda, did you use the word jinky?
Janky.
To describe it?
Janky. The first one was
Janky.
definitely
Oh, yeah.
janky.
I never.
You never heard that
I
one?
never heard of janky. I thought you were saying no. Like Jinkies was from Scooby Doo when Shaggy
Not
would
a
say to
janky.
Scooby like,
No, janky.
It's
like
kinda not
Jinky
great.
Scoob.
A little lowbrow. How about that?
All right, not great. Hey, I actually do have a text this morning, a text.
Ooh, do tell.
Because we do encourage you to text your comments into Sunrise Extra if you have one of those. And the only downside about the text is, unless you go out of your way to tell us, I can't see a name or tell where you're texting from. So this is just a random number, but she did send a picture, which probably will not show well at all. It probably doesn't show well at all, but it's a picture of her little child with the Easter bunny pancake concoction there. And our viewer here simply says, "We had a Peter Cottontail breakfast on Easter morning. Yummy." And it looks yummy.
That's awesome.
Oh, she used bananas for the ears as I look closer here. It's a pancake face and banana ears. Very nice.
Love that.
Well, I bought brown eggs, so I was not that coordinated with the Martha Stewart-esque.
I'll tell you what we did do this weekend as well, if you don't mind listening to my stories.
Please.
We kind of had our first social distancing get-together with some neighbor friends of ours. They live near us, but not really in our hood. Like, we either usually have to drive or ride bikes, or it'd be a long walk to get to these people. So we all kind of met at a centralized place, and we thought, as long as we let our kids stay on bikes, and literally said, you guys have to stay on your bikes for the entire hour that we're hanging out. And they did. We met in a kind of a school parking lot, and the kids were riding around their bikes, and the adults just kind of gathered around in a circle, maintaining our at least 6 feet of distance. But it was pretty cool. It was from 5:30 to 6:30 on Saturday night, and I think that was my favorite part of the weekend. Finally getting together with people I hadn't seen in over a month, and I usually see these people at least once a week. Just being able to get back together and talk about, hey, how are you dealing with this? How are your kids dealing with this? And finally seeing each other face to face. So that was a nice moment for me, if I don't mind sharing myself, this weekend.
I think a lot of people are doing similar things. We do Zoom meetings all the time here at KGW, but my boyfriend's family got on a big Zoom meeting, so that's what he did. I haven't seen him do that since all this shelter-in-place, stay-at-home started, but it was great because you heard the little ones, and they were so like, Uncle Jeff, and they were running around, and they're down in Arizona, and then his folks are up in Olympia, Washington, and we were here in Portland, so it does. It makes you feel better just seeing their face.
We did a tailgate
I'll tell you one thing that came out of that conversation. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nina.
Well, I was just going to say, we kind of did the same thing as you, Drew. We got together with friends, and we got my husband's truck out there. We got a cooler and some food and some little lawn chairs, and we put them in the back of my husband's truck, put the tailgate down with blankets. And so our family stayed in our truck, and our friends stayed in the tailgate of their truck at their house. And we just kind of sat in the sun and ate picnic style, and it was a lot of fun, just kind of pulling up. We even backed into perpendicular, their front curb, and took up half the street, but there was no cars driving by, so it didn't really matter, and it was great.
It was the perfect night for that, Saturday night. Wow. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. We did stay out there long enough just to see it get a little chilly, right? It was flat out warm when this get-together started Saturday evening, and then it did get a little chilly as soon as the sun started to go down. I will say this, and this is something I'm just curious if any of you have thought of, heard of, because so there were 3 families together, mine, my family, and then 2 others, and then a 7th adult. Another friend of ours from the neighborhood came cruising by on his bike, just randomly came passing by, and we're like, yo, I don't want to say his name out loud right now, but said, yo, come on over. So he comes over and joins us, social distancing, of course. But he's involved in the education system, and I'm talking to him about our experience with our kids, and then he said something that I hadn't even really heard of or thought of to this point. But he said something to the effect of, there's even talk of maybe we won't be able to start school in September.
Whoa.
And I was like, what? Yeah, like I said, I only bring this up because he's someone who would be somewhat in the know when it comes to the local education system. And I think all of us have just come to grips with this idea of not going back to school this year. And we've settled on that, and we're now getting good with that. But I don't think anyone, at least I haven't, has thought about this idea of not starting school back up on time in September.
What was the reasoning for it? That it might come back in the fall, or just out of total cautiousness?
Right, because, yes, our numbers look good right now, right? They look better than we thought they were going to be at this time. We haven't yet hit a peak, and there may be that point where we go down, but then perhaps swing back up.
Well,
So
when you hear
that's, I mean, it was
Anthony
just something that
Fauci.
came up.
Oh, go ahead, Drew. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just going to say it just came up. It came up in casual conversation, and he didn't really have some exact reasons why that might be, but he said the discussion has already been underway.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Dr. Anthony Fauci, you know, we played a soundbite from him this morning on the news, and he said, you know, it may be November before things start to roll out with the economy and things get back-ish to normal. So that caught my attention too, kind of in that same vein of what he thinks is going to happen with the health crisis before the economy kind of can get rolling again. But he did say as well, things are going to start going in stages because not everywhere in the United States has been hit the same. But boy, Nina, it is something that kind of you go, whew, all right. Do you guys remember weeks ago? It feels like years ago, but when we were all on the stream, and Drew, I think it was you who said, let's guess when we will all be back together. And I remember people, they had May 11th, and you guys all had your own picks. And I said, well, I don't know. Maybe if things don't go quite the way they should, have a nice summer. And you guys all laughed. And now, my God, wow. I do feel like it's like, oh, geez, I hope I didn't speak that into existence. I mean, I'm kidding, but yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right, Brenda, because
Go ahead.
in the beginning, right, gang, it's like you just can't look past a couple of weeks. It's hard to look past a couple of weeks.
It is.
If you told me a month ago, hey, you're going to do 20 consecutive mornings broadcasting from your basement, I would have just I may have passed out. I may have passed out on the spot. So in order to keep me healthy and sane, no one said it like that. It's just kind of like 1 week at a time. But we're going to see how this all shapes up and shapes out in the weeks to come. It is just, it's becoming easier, I guess, to deal with the reality that this is normal. And we kind of talked about this being the new normal. I think new is out. This is just becoming normal. I did talk to our boss for what it's worth on Friday, and I hadn't really caught up with him in a while, but you know, we talked about even when we do go back to maybe the way things were, it's not going to happen all at once, right? We're not going to see a flood of 90 people in our newsroom again on a specific date in the next month or two. It's probably going to come a little bit at a time. Right now, we're down to so few people in our newsroom. We're down to like maybe 4, 5, 6 at the most at any given time on any day of the week. At the most, 6 people. And maybe it goes to 10 people. 15, 25, but it's going to be a long time. I know that for sure, a long time before all of us are back in there, behind the scenes people and in front of the camera people, all of us there together again at the same time.
So maybe not the new normal, maybe it's the necessary normal. Maybe we need to kind of rename it. Can I just read one more comment that I'm seeing on our Facebook stream? Tiffany, good morning, says Wallace Park was packed over the weekend. Dozens of sunbathers, families playing games, people playing on the courts. There were hundreds of people there. Is the word, Tiffany, you'll have to get back on and type it up. Yeah, that's where, I'm not exactly sure where Wallace Park is, but were people able to kind of steer clear of each other, or was it like too packed? I'd just be curious to know. But yeah, everybody was out this weekend.
I mean, I feel like my take on that was she's saying that there was too many people there and they were too close together. Yeah, I thought that was over by maybe Northwest 23rd or a little bit higher up in the numbers, but...
Yeah. It's off of...
Oh, you know what? There's a dog park there. We've done a Drew and You from Wallace Park before.
Wait, is that the one, did you say Northwest? Is that like Northwest 25th?
Yeah.
Oh, I know, okay.
And Raleigh.
Yes, that's the one, Brenda.
I totally didn't know it was called Wallace Park. I go by there all the time, not paying one bit of attention.
I know, I had to Google it. It sounded familiar. Anyway, Amanda McDonald on YouTube says, my job doesn't have the capacity to telecommute, but we will probably be ordered back in May if the president has his way. So yeah, we'll see. I think a lot of changes we're going to notice coming up next month, you know, as these rolling openings possibly start, especially here in the, you know, on the West Coast. I was just reading the states out here where we are did a much faster job of shutting everything down and really, you know, kind of nipped it in the bud of what it could have been. So we may be, you know, the West Coast may be the first, save for the right you know, the smaller, more rural states in the middle of the country to kind of reopen on a test basis. So we'll see. But yeah, well, I'm glad you guys had such a great weekend. Enjoying the sun. Rod, will you give us a little forecast for today and the week?
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was 66, today 68, so I don't think you're going to feel a difference from today, you know, going back to Easter Sunday. It's just going to be beautifully clear and wonderful. We are eyeing at least a chance of some showers this weekend, but, you know, the majority of these shower chances we've been eyeing simply have not happened, and this one already showing signs that it may not happen either. Mm-hmm. If only the virus would act like our rain chances and simply go away.
Yes. Wouldn't that be
Life would
nice?
good.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, for Sunrise Extra. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.